In this episode, Trump gives a savage smackdown to Maine's governor. Before we dive in, I'd just like to say a heartfelt really quick. If you find value in honest conversation, real talk, and content that truly means something to you, please do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notifications bell so you don't miss another drop. This isn't just about the views, it's about building a space where truth matters and your voice matters. Let's grow together. Let's go. When a far left governor tells Trump she won't comply and Trump cuts the checkbook in front of the cameras, you know it's going to be a show, people. Roll the tape. Hurry up.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with the state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Trump just gave her the play stupid games and lose federal funding treatment on live TV. You have to be someone special to do that to Donald Trump. Did any of you take that as a suggestion? That was a final warning with a side of savage. She tried to flex, and I don't know why, but Trump just reminded her where her federal funding comes from and who controls it. The man didn't blink. He didn't backpedal. He just said, see you in court and good luck with re-election. In this next clip, Maine's AG refuses to comply. The Maine Department of Education and the Maine Office of the Attorney General have reviewed the draft resolution agreement and your impasse letter dated 31 March 2025. We will not sign the resolution agreement and we do not have revisions to counter-propose. We have agreed that we are at an impasse. Nothing in Title IX or its implementing regulations prohibits schools from allowing transgender girls and women to participate on girls' and women's sports teams. Your letters to date do not cite a single case that so holds. To the contrary, various federal courts have held that Title IX and or the Equal Protection Clause require schools to allow such participation. They're saying flat out, we don't care what the federal law is, we're going to do it our way. That is not leadership. That looks like lawlessness dressed up in activists' robes. And the courts they're quoting, all cherry-picked. This isn't about justice. This is about pushing ideology and daring the federal government to stop you. Well, Trump just accepted that dare. Cue the fallout. DOE begins the process of terminating Maine's federal K-12 funding as state allows trans athletes on female teams. This is what real consequences look like. No more statements, no more passive-aggressive letters. Just pull the plug. Maine, they wanted to play rebel. They thought this was a political stunt. Instead, Trump turned this into a fiscal nightmare. This is the blueprint. Enforce the law or get defunded, plain and simple. In this next feed, MSNBC cries fear-mongering.
Charlotte, you and I have talked about this offline. I mean, the Republicans love to fear-monger. That's their currency. It galvanizes people to vote based on fear, not on facts. I always like to say, don't vote on feelings, vote on facts.
Wow. Fear-mongering? No, that's called boundaries, people. You don't want your daughters racing against a guy. That's not fear. That's called sanity. The left, they seem to want to label everything as fear to distract from how extreme they've become. What this is not is fear-based politics. It's just people waking up. In this next excerpt, MSNBC's trying to blame the GOP for obsessing over trans topics.
Ground our viewers right now on why making trans people the boogeyman is just something that the Republicans want to do right now. And to your point, they're going to move on from that and they're going to make another group targeted and the next round of fear-mongering continues.
Nope. It's not fear, people. It's focus. We're focused on making sure girls don't lose out to activism and that women's rights don't get erased because of Twitter points. And if you think that calling that targeting is a defense, you've already lost the argument. In this next clip, MSNBC predicts the GOP will find another target.
That gets right to the heart of it. So there are two things. First of all, according to polling, most Americans believe they don't personally know a trans person, which makes it a lot easier to be bystanders when the trans community is attacked. The second thing, of course, is that only one party is really talking about trans issues. It's the Republican Party. They've made trans issues one of their central topics in campaigning and the national discourse, what have you.
Yeah, because the left refuses to talk about it. They don't want to explain why biological males should be in girl sports, and it's because they can't. They're just hoping nobody notices. But trust me, people, we notice. And now Americans are speaking louder than MSNBC ever will.
The more the Democrats ignore this, the more it's going to come back to haunt us in future elections. Republicans are not going to let up on this. They're not going to leave it alone. They're not going to stop this. And we're going to suffer. And here's what I find ironic about all this. It's very easy to fight back on trans issues. The science is on our side. Every credible medical organization has come out and endorsed gender-affirming care and said that the trans military ban is ridiculous and unnecessary. They've said that trans women should be housed in women's prisons. I mean, these are all policies that make sense if you're willing to fight back. But the more we don't fight back, the more Republicans are going to engage in bad faith and run up a score on Democrats. And I think we all deserve better.
In this next excerpt, transgender prison populations exposed. The number of people affected is relatively small. There are about 1,500 federal prisoners who are transgender women, according to the Bureau of Prisons. But they represent an outsized portion of federal inmates, especially among female prisoners. 15% of women in prison are transgender. There are about 750 transgender men out of about 144,000 male prisoners. How in the world did we get to 15%? 15% people of women in prison being trans-identifying biological males. This isn't inclusion, it's invasion. This is what a loophole looks like, and it's dangerous. While the media tells us everything's okay, nothing to see here, it's not. Wake up. In this next feed, Maine School Board is silencing concerned parents.
Good job, and thank you to the 6 members that voted to go back to the 2020 interpretation of Title IX. And shame on the 1 board member that voted no.
I'm sorry, but negative comments will not be allowed.
Most of you have heard by now that I have started a petition that Augusta concerned parents, both Republican and Democrat, are signing. This petition is asking if you, the school board members, will put up a vote to have Miss Kim.
I'm sorry, that's not going to be tolerated.
She's also a public.
Nope, I'm sorry, it will not be tolerated. Once more, and you're off the podium.
So, as most of you know, someone is the president of the Maine Principal Association.
Nope, close enough. I'm sorry. You're done, Mr. Blanchard. You're done, Mr. Blanchard.
What? How is
done, Mr. Blanchard?
Wow. Communist China right here.
This parent was merely reading a petition. No yelling and screaming, no threats, just words. And he got shut down like he was in Beijing. I mean, goodness, if they won't even let you speak, what else are they hiding? But you know what? This is why we vote, and this is why we fight with our brains. In this next clip, CNN can't get the evidence from the Democratic senator.
Do you believe that Democrats have any real evidence that anyone in the administration profited off of the president's policies and announcements, or is this just a fishing expedition?
You know, here's the problem with Donald Trump and congressional Republicans is our whole system was designed to have checks and balances. Now, Trump has designed an administration like none we've ever seen before. He is attacking the very agencies that are supposed to have independent oversight of these kind of actions. So we see him hiring people based upon their loyalty, not based upon their expertise. The real group that should be holding investigations and accountability and even just oversight is Congress.
But is there any evidence, Senator? Do you think there's any evidence that anyone profited off of these tariffs?
There is enough of an offense here. There's enough smoke here that should demand congressional hearings.
Translation, and we like those on this show, we've got nothing. We've got zilch, zero, but we're still gonna drag him through the mud. They've investigated Trump's shadow longer than they've investigated actual crimes. Meanwhile, they've let entire states break federal law while they say what? Y'all hear that? Absolutely nothing. It doesn't appear that they want oversight. It appears they want a distraction. The bottom line and takeaway from this is, do y'all recognize it? This is what accountability looks like. Trump gave the entire country a saucy reminder. If you want that federal bread, you better follow federal law. No more activist governors freelancing with tax dollars. No more pretending men. Men, people, belong in women's sports. This wasn't fear. This was leadership and what leadership looks like at the helm. Maine got caught crossing that line like a little kid whose parents have already told him no. And what just happened? Trump erased their budget. If you're still here, we're eternally grateful and humbled by the time you've given us. Please like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell so you don't miss another drop. Thank you. God bless.
Listen.